we have Sandra Odufadiri back with us in the studio for another conversation. Now, this one is geared towards making the best of our union with our partners. Now, there are certain issues in marriage that may begin to lead people into a depression or indeed frustration. And to avoid this, she's going to be talking to us about how best to deal with those issues. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you so much.
All right, so this issue of frustration and depression, it feels like somehow they go hand in hand. How do we best figure out that we're frustrated?
Okay.
So a lot of people, I feel, are in denial of these issues.
Well, like I always say, marriage is true life story. Relationship is friction.
Okay.
When you're dating this guy, he's trying to be very nice, doing his best, trying to please you. Then after marriage, he comes up with his real character. Studies have shown it that 95% of men show up their character immediately after marriage.
Now,
the remaining
5%
show off their character after childbearing.
Wow.
Yes. And
okay, so these are actual statistics.
Yes, I did a course on relationship,
okay.
And I went to the field, and so this was what I got.
After marriage, 95% show their true colors.
Their true colors.
Then
5% of the 95%, like 5%, show it after childbearing. And don't forget, you can't change anybody. So what you know you cannot, I don't pretend. I don't pretend in my marriage, right from when we started cutting. I tell you, right from when I got married, what I couldn't take. I don't fake it. I tell you, I can't take it. Not only my husband, my in-laws, my friends, my husband's friends. The things I couldn't take, I started it from the onset. It wasn't easy for me. I had a lot of challenges. But now everybody has accepted me for who I am. If I am going through, if you hurt me, I call you and I say it and I move on.
Okay, so now there must be some different factors that lead to this frustration.
Yeah.
Okay, so for instance, you've said some things you can't take if you hold back and you don't mention it. I guess that should be one of the factors that lead to,
frustration, yeah.
But then what other factors could be leading to frustration in marriage?
Okay. Most of the factors sometimes is in-laws.
Okay.
Yeah, in-laws. I had a lot of issues with in-laws because I am not Yoruba. My in-laws were Yoruba, so I had to deal with, you have to respect, where I came from, I just breathe, good money. As a matter of fact, the first time my mom came for Muga, when I knelt down, because I felt it was an insult for me to kneel down for my mother-in-law, and I don't kneel down for my mom. When I knelt down for my mom, she busted into laughter because we are not used to it. Now, I had to face, you have to watch, they said you have to call even somebody that you're younger than, auntie. In the family. It wasn't easy for me, but I had to do it but it took me a long time. Another issue was, okay, people coming into my husband's house because he's the first son. They used to come into his room anytime. Now he's not married. I remember when I had my second daughter, 5 a.m., my mother-in-law would just open the door and say she wants to pray for the baby. And it wasn't easy. I tried to talk to my husband about it. It was like he was scared. So I faced it by locking my door.
Okay, so now
that didn't go down well.
Of course it wouldn't. But I have to say, now it feels like these were all issues that you were having with the situation. It doesn't feel like they were, to be honest, it doesn't feel like outside factors were trying to frustrate you deliberately. It just feels like you had issues with some things that were happening around you.
It's part of frustration when things are happening around you. Imagine you are naked or you're not wearing anything with your husband 5 a.m. Somebody just opened the door. Are you not going to be angry? Of course, and you will have to play it. You have to be logical about it. Okay. So when I noticed that it wasn't changing, I started locking my door. So now she has to knock, and I have to put on my clothes before I open the door. There are when I posted this topic yesterday on social media, a friend called me and said, Sandra, I have been going through a lot in my marriage. I really want to see you. And I said, oh, really? And when you see them on social media, that's another thing. Social media has deceived so many people. Okay. You see them kissing, hugging, and then weekend in America, weekend in London, assurance. My husband has not gotten the assurance. Okay. They live fake. You might not even, if you go to my Facebook page, you will think I'm single. I don't do all this social media love. If I want to love, I love in my room.
So now, what if your husband had an issue with the fact that you're not posting things on social media?
My husband, the last time, hold on.
So get my point. There are some people that love this public display of affection.
Okay.
So what if it was frustrating him that you don't show it, that you love him in that way?
see, the truth is...
So you get my point. So I feel like it's a two-sided coin. We have some issues we might have with our partners, and they might have some issues with us. So how do we get to the bottom of this? How do we come together and solve these issues?
Well, you have to, the first thing as a married woman, you have to be very close to God.
Okay.
When you are close to God, there's nothing moves you.
Okay.
There were sometimes my husband would ask me, are you sure you don't have a boyfriend? Nothing moves you.
Wow.
Because I am very close to God.
Okay.
When the thing is bothering me, I go on my knees. I can be on my knees. Like this morning, I've prayed for 2 hours before I got here. Praying. By the time I'm done talking to God, when I just see you, I move on. And when I'm leaving my house, I dump the problem, whatever it is at the gate, and I move. By the time I get back home, I remember. Now, don't forget, some of them will say, like when we were cutting, my husband can call me 20 times in a day. But now we are so busy. Like today, I have like 10 places to be, and I don't have a driver. How many times will I be calling 20 times? He is thinking of how to make money, and then you sit down, you're crying. You just look for an alternative.
Okay, so
accept him for who he is. Tell yourself, this is for real. I have come to stay.
It's interesting that you should mention this phone call thing. A friend of mine actually has an issue with his fiance. Okay. So he said that his fiance is calling all the time, every single day. And if he doesn't pick up on the second ring, it's because he was busy with some other girl. And I asked him, I said, is this something that you are able to handle when you finally get married? He said it's really stressing him out that now he doesn't even like going home on time. I'm like, okay, so are you going to do something about this now? Are you going to wait till you get into the marriage to handle it? But it seems like he really loves this girl because he's accepting it from her. But what would you advise my friend to do?
Like I said, marriage is true life story. Relationship is friction. I would advise your friend to make her know. I used to have such issues. I told you my husband used to call me. It wasn't easy for me. After I'm married, he doesn't call maybe twice in a day or maybe even once. Sometimes he forgot to call. So at a point, he told me that I have a problem. He now got a phone where it's free for 2 of us. Okay. If you miss me, please call me. I don't have the time anymore. Then, don't forget that time he was chasing. He was chasing her. He doesn't want to lose you. Now you're already in the house. So your friend needs to sit her down and they have a conversation. Don't get me wrong, it's not as if I don't love you. I love you, but I don't have the time. I have some other issues to deal with. I have some other things to deal with. This is a very large topic that we can't even end today. I would suggest if we can continue next week.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should. Thank you so much, Sandra, for being open and honest with us as always.